Started off a street dreamer, striving to be great. Found out that I was special. Check, limitless vision, endless potential. Good credit checks, good when you check the credentials. Invest in myself, the stock rises exponential. Never fear the odds, my fear of God is essential. Laying foundation, my hammer up and my hat low. On another level, from platform to plateau. Everybody cut from a different cloth, is that so? Authenticity's in a stitch, not iron patch, bro. Stay in street clothes like a fan, we really from the game. Walk on hollow ground with the legends, I'm not a what's-a-name. Thought this was supposed to require skill, but something's changed. Brought a message back from the future, nothing was the same. Life gets real again, heart beats less algorithmic. Your screen is no longer a stimulant. It's not feeding your dream, it's killing it. You better play your cards right and know what you're dealing with. Word. I come from a lifestyle of risks and rewards. One thing you can't fake is experience. Look, every bit of my history I can recall vividly. Tell you how it feel being real and what it meant for me. You know the hate comes when you are what they pretend to be. Remember they didn't walk what they talk, let's jog memory. Moving like a Tesla on feet, I ain't for gassing up. Merging out the pit with new wheels, about to repass you up. Wise well beyond my years like I'm reclassing up. No grudges, it's all good, they doing bad enough. Still keep the gleek in the whip, but now it's legalized. Protection in my hand like a hamster for the evil eyes. Never judge a book by its cover, I'm more than meets the eyes. Watching like a guardian angel with the eagle eyes. Swooping down, back for the culture they tried to demonize. No loose ends in the streets and proper legal ties. Walked away on my own terms, they thought they seen demise. Hoped to see me go down in flames, had to see me rise. You know you witnessing the ascension, man. I ran the streets till I learned how to fly. King NTG the crown, God first.
What's good, bruh?
It's good, brother.
No fast mic drop.
Thank you.
Like even the people around was like, yo, that shit was hot.
Yeah, that's dope. Good feedback from the people.
You know, that was one of the things that like kept me coming here.
Yeah.
Was the fact that it was the pathway, San Jose State's right there.
Right.
You have food that's inexpensive. So there's food that's inexpensive that everybody can get a meal under $10.
Sure.
And I saw the traction that artists were getting.
Yeah.
Just even if it's $2, right? Fine, it don't matter. Somebody saw them perform their song. Somebody asked them their Instagram. Somebody asked me my Instagram.
Right.
The word spread.
Right.
The owners started liking it. It spread, so I just enjoy it, man.
Yeah, that's hella cool. What you did.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We had shows, podcasts, in around 2010, somewhere around there.
A while ago, man. Yeah.
It's 2024.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's talk a little about your ascension before we even get into anything. Like where you came from, where you were, and where you're at now.
Man, when I speak about my ascension, it has everything to do with where I am spiritually, where I am energetically, where I am consciously. Physically, you know, what I came from was, you know, almost typical rapper life, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even really want to dive too deep into that because it starts to sound cliche. But I would just say this: I was a little too close to death, too close for my comfort, and too many brushes with death. I started having too many brushes with the law, and you know, I was so in it. There's things that, you know, I go to sleep with every night that I can never take back. And, you know, I've had struggles with mental health. And I've always been one of the stronger ones that people can lean on. But in my time where I was kind of internalizing what I was going through mentally, I had nobody that I could lean on. And so it started to tear me apart inside. There were things that I was just a little too all over the place. trying to figure out how to make money,
Right.
trying to get it fast, trying to fuel my own and fund my own career. Also be a part of the lifestyle, be a part of the culture. But at the same time, I wanted a wife and kids, you know, a part of me. It was like the angel and the devil on the shoulder.
Right.
And so I started running out of places to turn. And the only thing that I could face was the mirror. And I started to not like who I saw.
Right.
And when that became clear for me, I started to be real with myself and say, I don't like this version of me that I'm becoming. I need to change. I'm misrepresenting my own character, and it's having an adverse effect. It started to pour out into everything that I did. My music was confusing. People don't know if I'm uplifting or if I'm in the trenches. And it was just, you could tell that I was confused. At least I could tell. Musically, I'm talented, so people still took to it and liked it. But people didn't, a lot of people who grew with me over the years didn't love it. And I started to realize that I was starting to become my own worst enemy. And so, like I said, there were things that I wanted at that time, like a wife and children. I had a son at the time, and tried to do my best, you know, with his mother, which we're good now, and that's a beautiful thing. If you're out there, learn to co-parent well, man, because the baby suffers if you two don't get it together, you know. And so, me and my son's mother have a beautiful relationship, my firstborn son. But we knew that, you know, it was best for us to co-parent apart. And part of that, you know, breakup kind of destroyed me a little bit, because my vision was to have one woman, one child with multiple children with one woman. That was the vision. And so when that vision became a broken dream, it was like, okay, I'm picking up the pieces, but I never imagined me not having everything that I wanted in life. And so when I realized that I was powerless in that, it sent me back to the drawing board. And I had to learn how to co-parent. I had to learn how to chase my dreams. And I had to learn how to be a single man, but also be a good man, because that's what I'm striving to be. But how do you know if you're a good man? And I didn't know. And so I didn't like that I didn't know. And so I isolated myself. I began to isolate myself, and I began to pray a lot. I always was a kid who was in prayer. I was taught to pray, but I didn't really understand the power of prayer until I hit some of my darkest moments in my life. And I started to pray much differently. I started to pray for my soul internally, because I was so sad inside and angry at the same time, and just everything was negative, and I didn't want to turn into what I felt like. And so I knew that I needed to work on me. I knew that I had to isolate myself from people, places, things, and just completely quit everything cold turkey and learn to be a better version of myself. And I didn't know how to do that, so I started to pray. In my prayers, you know, I usually don't speak about what I pray about out loud, but this is something that may help some other person out there in the world. I started to pray for a complete release. I prayed to be made brand new. And I knew what that could mean. I knew, because God always, and I'm a believer in God, in Christ, God always answered my prayers. And so I always had to be careful with the things that I asked for, because sometimes I could ask for the wrong thing, He'll give it to me. And sometimes you can self-destruct.
excuse me, sometimes you can self-destruct. And so I was very careful this time around, and I knew that my slate would be made clean, I would be made brand new. Nobody would know me. And I kid you not, the day after I said that prayer, I go to a gas station. Rest in peace to Jackie. I go to the gas station, and I bump into this cat. He's promoting his album at the gas station. He's got a collaboration album with Jack. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. He's telling me who he is, and I support, I buy his CD, and I tell him who I am. This is in an area where I should be well known. Guys, no clue who I am. No clue who I am. I sat with that for a minute, and my ego was crushed. I was like, this dude is brand new. I don't know him, but he's selling me a CD, and I don't have anything to promote. I'm kind of like egotistical and telling him that my stuff is out, and he has no idea who I am. And so I'm walking back to the car, and I'm just devastated. Like, all this work that I put in all these years for somebody locally to not know who I am.
Like,
my ego was crushed. And then I got in the car, and in that moment, I can hear God's voice echoing saying to me, do you know what you're asking for? Because he asked me that when I prayed. And in that moment, I realized he answered my prayer. So it wasn't that I was cursed, it was that I was blessed. He gave me exactly what I asked for. I told him that this is what I wanted, and he gave it to me, clean slate. From that point forward, I said, now my rebuilding process. This is like doing demolition in a house, which I have experience with. So I'm basically tearing down the walls, ripping up the foundation, and rebuilding. And so I was alone, I was isolated, it's just me and my son, sharing custody with his mother at the time. And I'm like, look, if I want a wife, I gotta make myself available and worthy to have a wife. I can't be out here running around expecting to be somebody's husband, expecting a woman to dedicate her life to me, and I'm only partially dedicating my life to her. I had to fix myself internally and set myself up to become a person who can receive the energy and the spirit from one woman. And that's when I met my wife. I reconnected with my wife today. We were high school crushes, both Virgos, 6 days apart, same exact age. And she was like my one that got away. And usually a lot of people don't win in that situation, and I almost didn't. She was my one that got away. She was married when we reconnected. She had a son who was just born, who I raised as my son and loved him to death. And that interaction between her and my son, who is my second oldest, and my oldest son, changed me completely. Now I have an idea of what me having a family can look like. And we went through a lot to get to that point where, we came together. Obviously she had to let somebody down in order for us to even work. And it wasn't like I was like, all I could hear is thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. She made a choice and realized that we had something that was completely unexplored, but absolutely necessary. And it felt right. And we have been inseparable ever since. It's my best friend in the whole world. And we ended up, I'm kind of jumping forward. She ended up getting pregnant with our daughter
many kids you have?
I have 3, 2 boys and a girl. My daughter's, yeah. Well, I don't use that term because I've been raising, that's my son. Antonio, Luce, and Halo are the names of my children. And when Halo was born, that was it. That let me know that this is it for me. This is my life. This is everything that I prayed for and set myself up for. And now it's time for me to be a man and man up. And we stayed together for some time, and I finally popped the question, and we got married. And now, boom, here's Antonio at the time. It's my first name, and I become a husband and father of 3. Now I'm living my life that I intended. Now when I look in the mirror, I'm proud. Now when I walk past the mirror, I'm absolutely 100% certain of who I see. There's no second guessing. There's no curiosity. What does tomorrow look like for me? I'm a grown man, and it took me years to find that version of myself, and I became the best version of myself. And so this is me we're still talking about my ascension. This is me on the ground level. And so now that kind of quick. Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to this. I pull questions out of things that, like you would say, right?
Yeah.
So you were talking about how when you were creating your music, right?
Yeah.
You were hustling to invest into your music, right? Like, I worked my ass off.
Ruining my re-ups, by the way, a lot of times because I'm chasing rap.
Right. Okay.
So
that's how
balance.
Explain how hustling and trying to be an artist, how hard it is for you to make income, and how much income that you got to invest into your music to be this person.
When you're a rapper and you're living that lifestyle,
Yes.
everything's a bill. From the moment you wake up, you have nothing but time on your hands. And you're trying to figure out what to do with the hours that you have. And a lot of those nights, you pull all-nighters. So we're talking about 20 hours where you might just be aimlessly, hopelessly spending money. You're not thinking about saving. You're buying jewelry. You're buying clothes. You don't want to get caught in the same outfit, so you're shopping damn near every single day. You want to hang out with your partners. You guys might drink. You guys might smoke. That comes with a price tag. You go get something to eat. That's a price tag. You like fancy cars.
Right.
Fancy cars got high gas prices.
It's the image, right?
The women you want to be around, they want to see you shine. They want to party with you, feel your presence. You go outside, you're spending money. You have to fund this lifestyle. You obviously don't have the time to have a regular job. If you were one of those rappers that did do it that way, that's dope if you found balance, but a lot of people that I knew had to quit jobs so they could pursue their dreams. So what other way do you have the lifestyle that you want in your actual life and in your entrepreneurial life where you're trying to pursue your dreams to be an entertainer? You gotta find a way to make some money fast. And the easiest outlet is to get into trouble or get into troubling things. Hopefully you don't get in trouble, but to get into things that can cause trouble. And so it's a choice that you gotta make.
Right.
And like I said, I messed up my re-up a lot of times because music money is way slower than hustle money. And a lot of times it doesn't even out. You don't see that return on your investment all the time, no matter how dope it is. You gotta be ready to put money down. Promotions, component materials, studio time, lifestyle, and then keep some money in your pocket so you're not broke doing this. It's too much to juggle. And so I come from playing, I have a sports background, and I was a ball player. I would say that hustling, even though hustling and music, making music kind of goes together, I look at it like the bigger you get in hustling and the bigger you get in music, it's almost like finding out your favorite NBA player took money in college.
Right.
And it tarnishes the legacy. No matter if they find out years later that this is how it was done, if the law finds out that it was done unlawfully, they come for you. So people gotta be careful with the way that they say, they gotta hide their lives. Now you got a world full of liars in front of the lights and cameras. And everybody knows. Everybody knows that these guys are liars. Everybody's living like, cause I lived the same lie at one point. January 19th, 2000.
Hold on. Make sure I hit record on this one. I did. All right, man. Hey, we're the Overnight Celebrity Show. We're here with King NTG. We've been going backward and coming to the new.
Yeah.
So we're in 2024 January.
Yeah, January 19th, 2024, day after my mother's birthday. Also the day after Traxy Williams, Traxy Williams, rest in peace, man, in San Jose, R.I.P. my dog. Died on my son's birthday, buried on my mother. But this was sometime after that. January 19th, 2024, earlier this year, I write my first rap out of nowhere. Didn't intend to. I was done music.
Okay.
Like, I went through a depression phase where I was like, man, what am I without music? It was a hard couple of years, man, of like fighting with myself. How do I let it go? I finally did because I became happy without it. I never thought that I could be happy without creating. And I did. I became happy because I was still of service to others. And I was useful. That's all I really wanted to feel was useful. And I wrote my first rap, which it ended up being God Over Gold, the Redemption album. Check out the Redemption album. NTG gonna send me. God Over Gold is the first record that I wrote coming back from 7-year hiatus from dropping music. 7 years. My last album was Dimensions that I dropped in 2017, which was hella dope, by the way, but it went and slept. Yeah, when I was Leo the Gift still. And I come back with God Over Gold. I go to the studio with my boy Vidal Garcia. And 98% of the session was one take. If we did a song over, it was because I just wanted to do it over. It wasn't because I made a mistake. It was just like, yo, I think I can do that better. And so he told me, he was like, yo, bro, like, it's crazy to hear you because it sounds like you never stopped.
Right.
And so I felt good for the first time in a really long time, nearly a decade. I felt good making music. And I realized that my passion had been restored. I didn't ask for it. I didn't expect it. I didn't try. It just became restored. Then I started writing non-stop. Every day. Excuse me. Non-stop every day. And still been writing. Still haven't stopped. I'm full of rhymes right now. And that's when I knew. I said, it's time for me to come back and say something. How do I do that? I'm a married man with children. Who wants to hear? Kind of felt like Andre 3000. know, you reach a certain age and maturation of your life.
Right.
How can you make your piece sound cool? And where you are in your life at that moment. I thought about it. I said, the state of hip hop. I'm watching young men die and die at a rapid rate. Whether that be to drugs, which is insane. OD,
Very
crazy.
yes.
Guns, regular random tragedies,
Right.
just losing their lives before they even see 25.
Right. Before they get flourished, to be anybody.
You don't even know life yet. They dying. We're talking about some of the most prolific artists from their generation. XXX, Tentacion, Juice WRLD. Some really prolific individuals. Even some of the street artists who get caught up in their old ways. These dudes are dope, talented. Go too young, like cats like Doe D, who I was listening to that. Too early. And I watched it enough growing up, locally, coming from right here. So I saw it way too early. And so to see it happen on a mass scale to some of the leaders of the next generation, I started to think, like, what does this mean for the youth?
Right.
And he walks out.
Their life, what do they think about life expectancy? When the guys they're looking up to are dying
Right in front of their face.
violently and tragically.
Yes. At 18,
At 18, 19,
yes,
20,
they're 16 years old.
going to jail for life, getting RICO charges.
I know how.
What does this mean for my sons?
Right, our kids.
I knew she like.
Then my kids are listening to this stuff. And I'm like, yo, you know what daddy was. And now I sound like the guy that's like, yo, well, back in my day. So I'm like,
was doing whoop-de-whoop,
So
yeah.
now I'm like, yo, I gotta show my sons
Right.
exactly who I am. My daughter, she's easier to convince. She's my #1 fan. And then I call her my little angel counselor. She's the reason that I stopped cursing my face. Because she has to listen to it. And how can I tell her that daddy is blessed if I'm putting curse words in my music? So I developed a rule, no cursing. So I don't curse in my music. I made it curse words so that my music is felt like a generational language and a universal language.
That's what happened all the way.
And so I said, okay, now I know what I can talk about. I can talk about the gift of getting old.
Right.
Because if you're not getting old, you're dead.
You're dead. You're not you.
People make fun of people getting old.
Right.
But an old person is a blessed person.
Right.
If you're not getting old, you're dead.
Yes. You're alive.
I'm alive.
Yes, we're alive.
And it's good to be alive. Let me talk about how I got here.
That guy, at least.
So everything I talked about was my redemption, being redeemed from who I was, who I didn't like, seeing myself as. And it leads to salvation, and then it leads to ascension. So these are my trilogies and my albums that I've done.
Like before Halloween,
right now.
He never even got dropped.
How do you feel
Oh,
about
my friend.
being voice creating music?
You're talking about like musically?
Yeah, making a certain sound, making a jingle,
Okay.
making a jingle because everybody needs to do it.
I do not care about hip hop. Real is what's popular. And if being real or being truthful ain't the most poppin' or popular thing, I don't want nothing to do with that thing. That's not popping to me. If that's what's popular to you and it ain't real and it ain't touching reality and it ain't really raising somebody up and saving somebody's life or changing somebody's life, how is that popular? That's whack. we need to start bringing that back. Like, yo, start telling these dudes, like, yo, it's whack,
Where the
bro.
consequences are, what's going on.
It's weak. It ain't even dope music most of the time.
Facts.
You rapping another dude like off beat, that shit is whack. You look like everybody else. You rapping about nothing but death and destruction. That shit is whack.
That shit is whack.
And I'm 37 years old. You might not care if I like it. I don't care if you think that I like it or not. I'm gonna tell you, bruh. I come from an era of nothing but dopeness and greatness. That shit is whack. And because it's whack, my responsibility and obligation is to give you my reason why I think it is. But I can't just give you my reason without having something to back that.
Right now,
And that music and my lyrics and the message is what backs it. And that's not the don't put the artists out there. But
I didn't take it out of this one.
I want the young generation to be more original.
Of what? Yeah, not be a copycat.
Don't be a copycat and don't destroy before you even learn the wheels. We just got a bunch of people tearing things down. And then, excuse me, we got the industry setting everybody. And then it's like, you might as well look at a briefcase full of money like a piece of cheese on a mousetrap. And they get the ones that they want. They know which they know what kind of cheese to put on the trap for the biggest ones they want. And they know it's gonna bring a lot of friends too. And they set a bunch of those same traps. Bam, got a Rico. The other mice, they gonna let them eat the crumbs that they can't see. They just want little crumbs here and there. They ain't really tripping. Those mice in and out the sewer. The big ones that's causing problems, trying to exterminate you. Causing too much of these problems. Eating up everything. A lot of these young bees is rich. Making millions in the streets. They got the streets in a chokehold. They're coming in the game rich. And then they go down. What they do, they go somebody next to you. Bring down the whole shit. So it's like everything y'all represent is destruction. And I would love to see y'all build because I love what y'all do. Y'all come from the same struggles that I came from. And some of y'all living it even deeper than I did. And a lot of these cats did. They outgrew their OGs and surpassed their OGs. And I want to see y'all thrive. I'm tired of seeing y'all thrive.
We don't want to see you. We don't want to see you. We don't want to see you survive. We want to see you win.
I want to see you win. And the reason, to give this more perspective, the reason that I say that shit is whack is because their generation is determining what's cool. And their generation is not like, yo, let's stand up and lead. Their generation is like, gang, gang. It's about togetherness, which is dope to me, right? So they determine what's cool. So let's normalize saying what's whack and make something else cool. And then let them take over that. I'm not doing this for me. I don't want to be the coolest person to you. I want y'all to know and revolutionize a new real. That's the yes, it's real to shoot and kill. Yeah, it's real to go to jail. Yeah, it's real to be a person that's taking chances. But is it real to uplift? Is it real to build up your community? Is it real to squash your differences? Is it real to be a family man? Is it real to throw away your criminal life to create a better life where you are a taker, but now you become a person who is nothing but charitable and you're in service to others? Is that real?
No, I feel like
So let's make that the new real.
Yes.
And if we make that the new real, then we gotta say that other shit is whack.
I feel like
You telling me that you killed another person that looked like you is whack.
just like
He dressed in the same outfit as you, same shoes. He got a mama that's a block around the corner. That's whack, bruh. And we gotta start saying that. Going to jail for the rest of your life is whack. Selling drugs and somebody ODing off the drugs you sold them, that's whack. Dying from overdoses, whack.
Running in the Apple store, taking all the fucking
Whack.
breaking in people's cars, fucking people's property up,
Whack.
stealing shit, whack.
It's whack shit.
Whack.
And Bibbin, get the dope fiends back they hustle, bruh.
Facts.
I stole that from the dope fiends.
Right.
What the hell? They was whipping years and years ago. I got bit by a dope fiend back in the day. Cats that's dressed in full designer gear is bipping. Like,
Right.
bro,
That's why.
that's dope fiend word.
Right.
The dope fiends back they hustle, man.
Right.
Just, come on, bruh. And y'all wonder why. Y'all go to San Francisco right now and look at how that place look. I told one of the greatest cities in the world up.
Everybody trying to recover here.
Not just the bippers, but everything.
Everything.
The dope.
The dope, the
Oh
fentanyl,
my God,
the
bruh.
fucking the fentanyl.
And it ain't just us.
breaking into the grocery stores.
The
No,
powers that be too.
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what
No,
I'm
it's
saying?
somebody.
Oh,
It's somebody orchestrating all that shit. So somebody orchestrates all that shit.
It's destroyed,
Yeah,
bro.
okay.
It's destroyed, man. I drove down, excuse me, recently. I drove down some of the streets that I used to drive down that used to be well lit, eventful, they're dark, and I'm talking about zombies outside where guys just in a, like, stuck in time. It was devastating. I said, this is where we at in the world. I got a lot to say about this. So, my ascension, I got messages to give. I got messages to deliver. And who's gonna give you wisdom other than somebody who is wise and can? And I'm not saying that I'm like the professor of the end all be all,
Right.
but I'm one of the people that God has given wisdom to, and I'm a person who's humble enough to know that as much as he's a teacher, he's also a student. I'm always learning. So as much as I'm learning, I'm also teaching. Otherwise, what does my presence mean outside? So there's my ascension. And consciously, I operate in the fifth dimension. The world sees averagely in 3D. And I operate in the fifth dimension. And if you don't know what the fifth dimension is, look it up. Go to YouTube, or Google, wherever you guys go to. Look up the fifth dimension and start to see what it means to be consciously in the fifth dimension. And you will probably see and understand where I'm at consciously and spiritually. And remember these phrases: clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience. I'll leave that for you to go and look up and research, but look up the fifth dimension and meet me there. Meet me there, and you'll understand that we walk the same earth, but I might see, I might hear, I might feel differently. So meet me there, man. You know, meet me there. Get out of this three-dimensional world that is the Matrix, and meet me on a higher level, consciously, and let's elevate the world physically in reality. We can all do it. Everybody has the superpower, the gift of intuition, the gift to be able to learn something you didn't know the day before and acquire a skill. You're all special. You're all special. I don't care where you come from, what ethnicity you are. You're all special. But be a good person. Have positive things in your mind. Look to build. If you're gonna destroy to rebuild something better. And leave rooms, places better than you found them. And that's essential. You know, become the best version of yourself. And that's where my name, King, that's where King in my name comes from, because I look at all my comments and I mean, I wouldn't ask anybody to go deep into my comments, but you will see a lot of people call me King. Just on their own. I'm not self-proclaimed or anything like that. Just on their own. They see whatever they see, and I respect that. I value what they see. I value it, and I try to be that for the people who believe that they can see that quality. And NTG came from the Jackal. Jackal always called me NTG. The Jackal and Celso, whenever they would see me when I was a young one running around, these are my big homies, and they would always, Jack would always scream out NTG. So when he passed, I kind of just adopted that name, and because a legend gave me that, and Neil the Gift was an old version of me. So King NTG is me rising into my power, my own power. It's not for me to be above the next person or make somebody else feel like they're less than. It's just me rising into my power and becoming the best version of myself. So, redemption, salvation, ascension. It's my trilogy, and right now I'm on redemption for my project that's out right now with Young City. Salvation is coming next, ascension is coming after that, and whatever else follows.
So why put you do next time?
For sure.
Because you ain't gonna stop.
Nah. we gotta have a part 2. This shit is deep.
Oh, like, yo.
I was ready to stop right there, though.
Okay, I know you were. That was
Yeah.
like the closeout.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Boom. Anything you want to say before we close out?
Man, love yourself, love your people, love your community, love God, love whatever you believe in something bigger than you, and just spread love, man, and positivity. We need more of that in the world. We got enough of the other stuff. Let's shift the culture, man. Let's move the needle a little bit. You know what I mean? And let's do it with love being the foundation.
Love has to be the foundation because love conquers all.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of hate going on, but you can't fight hate with hate.
Right.
All you're gonna do is bring more chaos.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to like throw love back at hate.
Yeah.
And it takes a certain maturity, a certain ascension to be able to become that person to be like, you know what I mean? I was the whole thing This man walked up and like, he asked me, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, am I okay?
For sure.
Because we're gonna wake up every day and keep going until it's our time to go.
Right.
And all we can do is continue to be all right. We can't allow all this stuff that we can't control. We need to not try to control it.
Right.
We need to work on controlling the things in our power that we can control. And that's me. Every day I gotta wake up and do my best to be the best me and continue, kind of like what you were saying. I gotta do service to everything around me. Everything, my family, my parents, friends, people who are good to me, I treat them good. People who are bad to me, good to me. But I gotta be a servant to the world because that's my job. And if I can accept my job and understand that my job is bigger than me, that there are two things coincide together, then to do what's right. And I got something. As you're speaking, I'm like, damn, this is real.
It's heavy.
It's really heavy, and I really appreciate you for this time because, you know what I mean? This is time for people to outlet what they feel. Like, I built this stuff to be able to do this.
I know. Here, can you pass the number?
Right.
I can do it.
Right.
Like, we can do it.
Right. Right.
Like, people. My best friend PJ, that I grew up with making music with, he died one day in jail.
It's crazy.
He died.
Can you talk about
My best friend, one of my best friends, it was a whole bunch of us. We all had our own issues and ASR10 making the beats. Like, bro, come over here, I got this beat. My dad gave me a 4-track, and we all started making music together.
Yeah.
And like one day he went to jail, arguing with his wife.
That's crazy.
We have to be the people that are here for our loved ones who didn't make it to share our stories and to help build up the youth
Right.
and continue to show the youth like you said, a lot of that shit is whack.
Right.
And we're still here. We're gonna bring a positive life into you. We're gonna instill the message,
Right.
the life back into you. So I just feel like I appreciate you, man. I'm happy you came out here to talk with me.
happy to.
You know what I mean? I'm just happy like after this many years that people are still, regardless. I just started doing this. I started doing the overnight celebrity show again.
Right.
So it took me one day to realize I didn't do my show again.
Right. This was supposed to be this long because it's almost been 10 years.
It's been
This is
11
supposed-
years.
yeah,
I stopped doing. I really stopped doing it in about 2013. That version. So somewhere in there, I was just like, I didn't want to invest into other people's platform.
Right.
To continue to build my platform.
Yeah.
I felt like I was building too many other people's vision through my vision. One day I was just sitting there. I was like, Doc, I bought all this equipment. Start using your equipment for you.
Right, right.
You're building everybody else's dream. Don't stop. Whoever you're building their dream right now, do not stop building their dream. Brian, go build your own dream.
For sure.
Because if you start building your own dream, everybody's going to respect you and understand that you're a priority for yourself. But you are a servant not only to yourself, but to the others.
For sure.
And your hands are going to come together.
For sure.
Everybody's got out now. One more last time.
Man, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can stream music, man. A bunch of other streaming platforms. I don't even know the name of it.
Is the next one a solo album or is it a collab album too?
I want to keep that up in the air for right now. 'Cause I'm gonna have some surprise collaborations in there. You know what I'm saying? But just know that it's gonna be dope. Everything I'm putting out is gonna be dope, and it'll all go together at the end. Yeah, every project will go together. Like,
Right, song to song, the project to project.
Yeah.
So the middle, so song 14 on project 1
Right.
ties into song 1
Right.
to song 2 to song 3.
right. And like I said, it's a trilogy. So the first project, Redemption, is everything that comes with that. Through the streets or struggle, love or relationships. Salvation is more like that too. It's not only about just being saved in one way, you know what I mean? Like there's many layers to seeking salvation, finding salvation, you know, and ascension, you know, is more the same thing. You know what I'm saying? There's layers and dimensions to all of these things. So I just want to keep people guessing and just continue to work and just continue to keep putting out music as much as I can while this passion is restored and refreshed, and just keep filling the world with some positive vibes, some strong messages like that too.
Like, did you have a brother?
Drop that shit to me as soon as you're ready to concert. Whenever you want to drop one of them songs, we do another sit down, we'll carry on from here. So we'll do it. Thank you.
Love. Yes, sir.
As long as I got him from back there, yeah. This one didn't go out again, right?
No.
For sure.
Longest at first.
Huh?
That one lasted the longest.
Longest at first.